I'm thrilled that you're all here to celebrate reaching out and thriving in our lives. I'm Kimmy Avery, and I'm a relationship navigation specialist, and today I am your MC. I'm here to usher in all the amazing speakers and to make sure that you have an incredible time. Rebecca puts on incredible events, and so let me tell you about Rebecca. Rebecca Hall Gruyter is the founder and owner of Your Purpose-Driven Practice. She's the creator of the Women's Empowerment Series TV and events. She's the creator of the Speaker Talent Search, which is a phenomenal way to get your vision out there to the world. And she's a multiple times best-selling author. She's also an incredible compiler of books and anthologies where people get to shine their light. Her mission is on helping you shine your light to the world. And she did a book recently called The Grandmother Legacies, which I was a part of. And that was an international best-selling book. And the most recent is Coming Out of Hiding and Shining, and that's another best-selling book. So additionally, she's the network CEO and owner of RGH TV Networking, offering transformational programming in a global market. She is committed to helping the people in her circles shine, and I'm so honored to introduce Rebecca to you today. Please, if you've never seen her before, awesome. I'm glad you're here. If you've been here before, please stand up and give a healthy, well-rounded welcome to Rebecca Hall Gruyter. Yay. The visionary, amazing Rebecca.
Thank you, Kimmy. Let's give our amazing MC a round of applause. Thank you, Kimmy. Beautiful. Well, thank you for the warm welcome. I'm excited to have each of you here today as we talk about Ready to Thrive. We actually used to call this event Get Ready to Thrive, and I decided I think we're ready. And let's take it to the next level. Does that sound good? And we're actually going to focus in on how to thrive no matter what, because we will have storms in life. We're going to have surprises. We're going to have challenges, and we want to build your toolkit so that you can thrive no matter what, in the storm and out of the storm. Does that sound good? Are you sure? Yes. Really, really sure? Yes. Okay, great. Then you're in the right place. And I love to run through a few tools that we have prepared for you today so that you can get the most out of our time together. Does that sound good? Yes. Okay. Also, how many of you are list people? Do we have anybody who loves lists? I'm Rebecca Hall Gruyter. I love lists. Okay. How many people are not list people? You think in a more creative way, energy flows a little differently. Now, some people didn't raise their hands. So both. Okay, you can be a hybrid. You can be both. That's fine. Well, I have tools to support all of you. So for list people, we have this amazing thing called an insert form. Just so you can see what an insert form is. It looks like the folder, but when you open it up, there's lines, and on the back, this is a place where you can make a checklist of action items that you're going to take. So if you're a list person, you tend to, if you do something that isn't on the list, you write it on the list and check it off. Like, it's really fulfilling and exciting to have things on the list, and it's a sense of accomplishment, every one of those, that you get to check off. So I'm going to invite you throughout the day, as you have those aha moments, translate them into something you can check off your list. And you put a date that you're going to take action on it, and there's a little box even there for you to check off once complete. Does that sound good? Now, for those of you who are not necessarily linear thinkers or a little bit more creative in how you receive information, we have a chart for you as well. It looks like a flower, and it's in your book or your folder. And I have a way for you to use it. I want everyone to find their flower. because there's something really important we write in every single one of them. What goes in the center of the flower? You. You go in the center of the flower. Everything we're building for today is around you to support you to thrive. I want you filled to overflowing in a powerful, beautiful way. So remembering to keep yourself in the center. It's easy to put ourselves last. So I want to invite you today to really put yourself in the center. What's going to support you? What's going to help you move forward? And in fact, I want you to put a little heart around you. So you with a heart. And I want you to send yourself some love with a hug. And in fact, throughout today, if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed at a moment or getting lost in your head, you can stop and give yourself a hug, some love. You can put both hands on your heart and breathe. It will ground you and bring you present. Because that's how you're going to get the most out today, is remembering to stay present. But when you're doing that, do that with love and support. Not with your head's running away with me again or criticism. It's pause, love, support, present. Because you're here on purpose and for a purpose. It's not an accident that you joined us today. That means there is something here for you, and I want you to receive it. So throughout the day, we're going to give you ways to do that so you can stay present and receive. But let me walk you through the flower chart. So we have a lineup of amazing speakers, and I want you to be able to capture powerful information however it comes. So whether you are more visual in how you receive information or you're more linear, you can use this chart. So the first petal represents our first speaker, Dr. Mary Oz. Dun, dun, dun. So when she shares the aha, the information that comes to you, capture it in that petal. And then what does RHD stand for? Exactly, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. So you can, whatever insights or ahas you capture, you can get on this petal. And then the next petal, G, Dr. Gary Salyer. And then M, Dr. Michelle Petacolas. And D, Danielle Nistor. And what happens then, by the end of the day, you have this beautiful one-page visual summary of our time together. In a sense, we are each getting to grow our own flower that's supportive of each of us, each of you, individually. And then together, we create a garden that helps us shine and thrive. Because life is not a solo journey. What creates so much of the richness is how we come together, sharing our respective gifts and talents. And so I want you actually to build into your flower a way to connect. Can I share that with you? So right here, we have these leaves, one on either side. I want you to make 2 new connections today. And you're going to have them put their name on your flower. Does that make sense? So 2 new connections today, their name on your flower. They become part of what is supporting and lifting you up and all that you're bringing to the world. Okay, so we're clear on the visual chart that we've got? Okay, good. Our speakers are so excited to share with you. We talked a little bit before we got started today, and just reminding each other that we're here to serve you, that we've prepared, and we're going to go with the flow. If something is being called forth in our presentation that perhaps is a little bit different than we planned, we're going to honor that. So they are going to be co-creating with you, bringing information designed to serve you exactly where you're at. And I think that's courageous and rich. And when we're speaking authentically, because that's something else they committed to, authentically serving and supporting each of you. When we speak authentically, sometimes we can say the opposite of what we mean. Have you ever done that? Right? You're so in your heart space and connecting that you're not screening the words as they come out. When that happens, we can start to go, oh my goodness, I can't believe I said that. Now they're not going to believe anything I said. And so we start having this little dialogue inside. Our body's still there, but we're way back here. And the thing I know that shifts that is reminding people you are amazing. You are so beautiful, exactly as you are, that you're willing to authentically connect and serve. And in fact, I want to invite us all to arise to that. Be willing to authentically connect with each other, to not worry so much about what we said or how we're saying it, but really be willing to connect heart to heart with another. And I'm going to invite you to listen with your heart. Can we do that? And when those moments happen, because they will, I want to encourage you to remind that person of something true. Even in that moment when we feel less than shiny, the opposite of what we meant to do has happened or has been said, I want us to say a phrase to each other and mean it. And the phrase is, you are so beautiful. And you make eye contact. And when someone shares that gift with you, you receive it. Don't brush it off. You don't say they just caught a great angle. How many times do we do this? If they only knew, right? I want you to receive it, take it in. And in fact, I want us to build this muscle. Can we practice this together? Okay, so I want you to try it on me first. I will do an example, but then we're going to get to try it out with each other. Sound good? Okay. Trip. You are so beautiful. Do you see how I actually leaned in and I smiled? I received. Thank you. Let's try it one more time. Let's go over the top with it. Oh my goodness, I dropped my paper. You are so beautiful. Wonderful. Now I want you to say it with a smile. Extra energy. Let's stand. Let's raise that energy. I want you to find a neighbor. Look them in the eye and share this gift and receive it. No brushing it off. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. You are so beautiful. Great. Let's find another neighbor. Eye contact on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to do it a third time because 3 is my favorite number. Gentlemen, you are beautiful too. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. You are so beautiful. Beautiful. Great. So how did that feel? Beautiful. Good. I see hugs happening. The energy raises when we're willing to make that connection and receive it. So I invite you throughout the day to share that gift with each other. Are we game? Okay. I want to go back to this being your space in a sacred place that we're creating together today. Because as I mentioned before, it's not an accident you're here. You said yes. And in fact, you've said yes multiple times that have led to this moment. You said yes when you heard about this event. You said yes again when you registered. Yes when I sent the confirmation. Yes when I sent the reminder. And yes yet again when you came to join us today. And I think it's really important we honor that. That each of us honor that within ourselves, that each of us honor that for each other, that we're willing to hold space for each other and our respective yeses. Because there is a reason, and perhaps multiple, that you are here today. And it may not be what happens up on stage. It might be something that happens in the back of the room or at one of your tables. It's not an accident you're sitting where you're sitting. I want you open to all the amazing possibilities of what can happen today, of the connections that can be made. In fact, I want you so open that you're expecting something with eager anticipation that you can't even imagine that will abundantly meet your need. not just meet it, abundantly meet it in an unexpected way. We sometimes get too attached to the how. We think this is how it needs to be filled. This is how it needs to happen. But there might be plan B, C, D, or E that's even better than our plan A. So I want you open to receive everything that's here today. And I'm going to walk us through an activity to help release any distractions, because I know as adults, we're very good at being here in body and somewhere else completely here, making to-do lists, bless you, whatever it may be that's pulling us away. So do I have your permission to walk you through? Okay, it means, thank you, great. It means closing your eyes. You're absolutely safe, and I can see if you don't, by the way. Take a breath. You're absolutely safe. Put one hand on your heart, one hand on your head, bringing all of you in, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And just feel in if there's anything pulling at you, distracting you. The to-do list, something that happened this morning, things that need to happen tomorrow. They're in tomorrow. They're not here today. This is your time. So any of those things that are kind of pulling at you, I invite you to lovingly collect them, and let's put them in a heart-shaped box. It's pink. Lovingly collect all of those things that are pulling at you. We'll put a lid on the box. Has tiny, tiny air holes. Nothing is suffocating, but they're being contained for a later time. We'll pick them up later. And we're going to take a breath, but remember, boxes are kind of heavy. So it's going to take a big breath to remove this from the room. And we're going to do it collectively. So let's take a deep breath. On the count of 3, out the lobby, across the street, all the way over to the Stone Ridge Mall. Air conditioning, entertainment, they'll be fine. Okay. Now I want you to open your eyes and stand up. We're going to do this one more time, but sometimes when we physically move, there can be some new things that we're collecting or come up when we remove that first layer. So go ahead and close your eyes. You're safe. One hand on your heart, one hand on your head. Feeling in anything else that is wanting your attention, pulling at you. Lovingly let it know this is not your time. I will pick you up later. This is my time. Collect all of those things that are still pulling at you, and let's lovingly place them in a silver bag with shiny see-through cellophane on top, like blue. It has a shimmery blue. Put that on top. Let's take another breath. We're going to remove this from the room. Big breath all the way to our toes. Count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Out the room, across the lobby, across the street, all the way to the mall. Beautiful. Come back in the room, eyes open. Go ahead and have a seat. All of those items, you know where they are. They're not very far away. You can pick them up, and you may find some of them you decide to leave there. They'll be well taken care of. But this is your time. I think it's really important as we create some of this space within us, we become fully present, we're ready to receive, that we have some frameworks to help support us in receiving information. So I wanted to share some ways that we can do that. So we've already discovered and shared the gift of You Are So Beautiful, which will encourage authentic, real connection and receiving when we are shared, that gift is shared with us. But I also want us to know how to really show up, how to stretch ourselves a little bit. I think sometimes we're waiting for permission. We're waiting for someone to say, now is your time. Now is your time. Yes, you can do that. Yes, you can stretch that way. Look this way. Try this out. Walk that way, whatever it may be. that we're wanting to try on or we're wanting to step out in. And I think whether we realize it or not, we're waiting for someone to say, yes, that's okay, it's your time. So in case that's any of you, now is your time. This is your day to embrace and receive everything that is here for you and to stretch your wings a little bit. Try some new ways of being, some new ways of thinking. How many of you want to not learn anything today? Okay, good. Oh, when we discover something, we learn something, let's embrace that and celebrate. I didn't know that before. Wow, I can bring that into my life. Instead of, I should have known that. Can't believe I haven't been doing this. If we can flip it around and actually be excited to discover something new, we're going to want to keep discovering new things. Does that sound fair? I had one of my grandmothers taught me how to bake cookies. And I don't know if any of you are bakers out there, but if any of you remember that first time you were baking something? Well, my experience, and I was about this tall, I had really, really light blonde hair back in a ponytail. There's a picture of me standing there like this, my ponytail. And if you look closely, you can't even quite tell what's on the tray. I have to tell you they're cookies. It's my first attempt, but I am so proud. Like, there was no hesitation. There was no pulling back. I didn't see that they were a little bit mangled. I didn't see a little singe, that there weren't very many survivors. Like, I didn't notice any of those things. I had made one of the things that I loved most in the world, cookies, and my grandmother had taught me how. I embraced learning. But what you also don't see in the background, part of why there weren't very many survivors, is that here's a little tip for those of you who haven't baked before. When you mix dry ingredients with wet ingredients, you can't do it super enthusiastically at first. You lose stuff over the edges. You have to blend it a little more slowly at first. I also discovered something magical about flour. That it's really important you seal the flour container before you dance to put it away in celebration, creating a beautiful cloud that will need to be cleaned up later. I also discovered that when you pull cookies out of the oven, you can't do it like this or like this. You have to pull it out straight, because otherwise you lose them on either side. And these are all things my grandmother, rightfully so, could have pointed out to me. Look at the mess you made. I can't believe you didn't know to not close the flour first. Look at all the waste. But she didn't. Instead, she took a bite of a cookie and said, this was amazing. Wow. I got excited. I still learned all of those things because I thought, well, this was pretty good. What if I could apply what I discovered next time so I have more cookies to share? We can do the same with ourselves. I think we try something new and we stumble along the way. Maybe we waste some of the supplies along the way, like we learn. And that's perfect. Let's celebrate that we're learning, that we're growing, that we're willing to do that. I call those cookie moments. I want you to look for cookie moments in your life. Can we do that? Great. So I have another grandmother. I have lots of grandmother stories. I was blessed with 4 grandmothers. And this grandmother came to live with us during a time where she had lost her husband and now was becoming a me, figuring out where she started and stopped, learning how to drive again, or for the first time, I'm not sure on that. And she also had to learn all the financial stuff, like she was in that place. And she moved in with us, and I got to know my grandmother as a woman, not just as a grandmother figure. We used to go on walks together. We would do Bible studies together, manicures, pedicures. Like, we really got to enjoy being together. We used to watch the old musicals, and we'd sing and dance and enjoy each other. So I greatly admire my grandmother, but she had this quirk, we can call it, that I would be a lot more comfortable in life if she didn't behave that way. And I didn't think it was appropriate. Have any of us have felt that way about someone before? Yeah. And we may greatly admire, and those are the ones that it's hardest to like talk to about something that perhaps you want shifted or changed within them, right? It takes a lot of courage to confront somebody that you love about something. And you do it with great love, great courage. And where this would come up is when we go to the grocery store. My grandma was is an Italian grandma, feisty Italian grandma, and bread was a really important part of our meals. So the bread had to be just right. And I was a very shy, trying to be cool teenager. I don't know if I ever achieved that. I turned purple really fast. I like skipped right through red, went right to purple. So we go to the grocery store and I could feel it coming. We're getting closer to that aisle, the bread aisle. And this is where it would happen. She'd pick up, I can't believe they're serving this, kind of toss it to the side. Crunch, squeeze, squish. Oh, what are they thinking here? Don't they know this is, bread? Don't they have, on and on, not subtle. And I'm feeling like this isn't our bread. We shouldn't be squeezing it. She's not putting it back in the right places. Like I'm trying to manage it and softly find the proper bread so we can get out of the bread aisle. So I thought, I really need to talk to Grandma. She just doesn't understand. This is not appropriate behavior. It's not our bread. Right? So it was in the front of the store. I took a breath. Grandma? And she turned, and my dad calls her compressed big, a lot of power in a little package. So she turned that energy and full attention to me, and I'm like shrinking back a little bit, but I know this is my moment. It's like, Grandma, I love you, but we can't go around squeezing other people's bread. That's not our bread. I thought she must not know, right? And she looks at me, and there's this shift in energy. And the only way I know to get close is hand on the hip and like this almost growth. And she looks at me and she goes, what are they going to do? I'm the grandma. I thought, oh my goodness, my grandma's never going to get this. Leave, abort mission. So we leave. But I look back at that moment, she taught me a profound lesson. She fully embraced being grandma, not waiting for permission, owning that space, owning that time. When I look back at where she was figuring out where she starts and stops, she approached it with that same courage. My grandma learned how to line dance. My grandma got a silver sports car, goes 25. And she passed on this legacy to every granddaughter, every member in our family. If you do this, we will finish the sentence. What are they going to do? And we will say our name, or we'll say she's grandma sometimes. It just depends. But she teaches us to really embrace who we are, own that space, figure out where you start and stop. Don't wait for someone else to decide that for you. Don't wait for someone else to give you permission. Today, I want you to be willing to, what are they going to do? Stretch into that space a little bit. And I can tell you it's contagious. My executive producer, Robert Cellino on Voice America, I was talking about this concept on one of the shows. I didn't know he was still listening to a lot of my shows. And he picks up the phone, he goes, what are they going to do? I'm Robert, executive producer. And I thought, oh, there it goes again. So let's embrace this, just like you are so beautiful. Looking for cookie moments. I want us to internalize this, what are they going to do? And really claim who we are. Let's stand. Let's get our wrists warm up. Okay, no wrist injuries. On the count of 3, and you don't have to do the hip I do. Grandma didn't need to. You just go, what are they going to do? There you go. Beautiful. Let's try the other side. 1, 2, 3. What are they going to do? Okay, let's do both wrists. Let's make it count over the top, right? We're stretching. 1, 2, 3. What are they going to do? Beautiful. Wonderful. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. Love it. Great. So some of the framework that we're using now. We're going to look for cookie moments. Learning new things is a good thing, and we celebrate that. We're going to remind each other that we are so beautiful. And instead of shrinking back, we're going to lean in. What are they going to do if I try this? Step forward in this way. Okay? I have one more. So I'm a cat lady, so I'm Rebecca Hall Gruyter. I love lists and I love cats. I receive, and I've learned some great lessons from my cats. And one of them was my little Nina, and she had a different behavior than all the other cats that I had ever had before. And she would enter a room on purpose. She'd come down and she pranced. And she'd wait at the entrance of the room for you to notice her. And she'd wait. And if you didn't, she would chirp. She didn't really meow, she would chirp for your attention. And then if you look at her, she'd go, oh, hi, Nina. And then she was fine and at peace, and she'd go about her cat business. And she did this every single time. And I thought it was fascinating. And then I thought, I wonder what that feels like to make an entrance on purpose, to really show up when that moment, that spotlight comes. Because I have found, any of you ever had the duck away picture taken? Like suddenly the camera's there and you're doing this, and they take the picture anyway? Has anyone ever experienced that? How do those pictures turn out? And they post them anyway, right? And I finally thought, well, if I just smile on purpose, it shows up as a much better picture, and they're going to be posting anyway. So it's like when those moments happen, let's treat it like we're going to show up in that moment, choose to show up on purpose. And to me, this is what Nina was showing me. So I decided to experiment on my husband. I work from home, and so a lot of times he doesn't know what he's coming home to. Some days I have the green, facial thing going on. Not his favorite day to come home to that. Found that out. It's not his favorite look. Another time, I'm wearing everything sparkly I own because it felt good that day. And I'm shining and having fun. Or a ball gown or whatever it is, a hat. I'm feeling sassy that day. And I'm really embracing that. And so he's used to me showing up in different ways. And I thought, he's kind of getting used to it. Let's see if the Nina treatment, let's see how that works. So I dressed up really cute. I waited till he was settled downstairs. My office is upstairs. And then I snuck down the stairs. He's focused. And I arrived at the entrance, and I waited. And I waited. And I waited. And I thought, Nina taught me you can make a little noise. It's okay. And he looks over, and he looks up, and he goes, hi, honey. I said, don't I look good? He goes, yeah, honey, you look great. I thought, okay, well, thank you. He needs a little training just like I did with Nina. So I did this a few times, and it really became fun. But what I didn't expect is it was contagious, too, just like that other thing. He would come sneaking up to my office looking good with his hat, and mine was more like, hey. His was more, hey. And it became really fun to share that gift and celebrate each other. And I thought, what if I greeted every day like that? Showing up on purpose. I'd walk up to the mirror, especially those days where I'm feeling a little like I'm dragging a little bit tired, or maybe even discouraged, feeling like I need a time out, whatever it may be. And going to that mirror, and I go, ta-da! I have arrived. Let the day begin. I smile, it lifts my spirit, and my perspective shifts and changes, and it feels really good. I call this ta-da. And I think we can choose to bring that ta-da to every moment, especially when suddenly that energy shifts, the lights on us, cameras, action, smile, ta-da. And if that happens today, because you might have a microphone in your hand when that moment happens, what are you going to do? That was not super convincing. I think we need to stand up and try this. Move around a little bit, get those hips going, because we're going to go all out today. Prancing and everything. Are you guys ready? So let's prance, get a little prance on, okay? On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, ta-da! Beautiful, let's prance over somewhere else. 1, 2, 3, ta-da! Okay, 3, remember, 3 is my favorite number, so on the count of 3, both arms front and center. 1, 2, 3, ta-da! We can let the day begin. So let's take a breath. So we have some beautiful frameworks, some tools that we can use throughout our time together today. And you can add the prance and everything. It is all good. This is a safe space for you to fully show up, fully enjoy yourself, connect with each other on a heart level, heart, mind, body, soul, and spirit. But to further support us, I want us to deliberately set some intentions for today. Can we do that? So created room and space, and I'm going to invite you to close your eyes as you feel into this. Put one hand on your heart, one hand on your head, bringing you all in, mind, body, soul, and spirit. Take a deep breath, actually so big it fills your belly. See how big you can make your belly. Breathe out, your mouth like through a straw. Take another big breath. And in this space, what is it that you need today? What is it that will encourage you, empower you, support you? As we're looking at thriving, what is it that you need? It may be a little bit different than what you thought you needed when you signed up. Or we're looking for. Just feel and receive that information. It can come as a picture, as a memory, a sound, all different kinds of way information comes to us. And I'm going to add another layer. So what is it that you need and are willing to receive? Because we have choice. What is it that you need and are willing to receive? See if that shifts your information a little bit. Beautiful. Come back into the room when you are ready. Another big belly breath. And I invite you to write it down. Write down what it is that you need and are willing to receive. It's so easy to forget, to get distracted, and to miss it. So I want to encourage you to keep it top of mind so you can receive everything that you need. And I'm going to encourage you to not be attached to the how. Willing to receive in whatever form it may come. Beautiful. So let's take a moment and just really breathe in all of these beautiful introductions and intentions that have been shared. Just breathe them in, hold them in our heart, send them love, support, energy. Breathe them out into the room. Let's actually breathe that mixture. I want you to picture as they went out into the room, they're now mixing with each other, creating this rich soup that we get to breathe in all day and move around in. Intentions, love, support, connected to each other with love, authentically, powerfully. Let's breathe that in. Hold it in our heart for a moment. Back out into the room. And as we stand here, recognize we're standing for each other. We're holding space for today. We're claiming today and each of your intentions to come true, to step forward, to receive exactly what it is that you need. And anytime your energy's flagging a little bit today, or you're perhaps feeling that intention's a little bit further away than you want it to be, I want to invite you to breathe in this rich mixture of support and encouragement, connectiveness, and love throughout the day. And you can even take a couple scoops of it home with you to encourage you on your journey. Are we game? Can we do that? Okay, beautiful. Go ahead and have a seat. Something that struck me as we were sharing and getting to know just a little bit about each other, and I want to encourage you to get to know each other on deeper levels throughout the day. And I was thinking about April showers brings May flowers. Have any of you ever heard that? And in order for things to be growing, there need to be seeds that are planted. So I want us to be thinking about, with these intentions, what seeds are we planting? Are we planting carrots and expecting zucchini? What are we planting on purpose in our gardens of life? Even today, that intention is a seed that we just planted. We nourished it with the support, and we're going to keep nourishing it throughout the day to blossom as each speaker supports you and connects with you. But you have an important and integral part of this. Each of you are uniquely, beautifully, and powerfully made on purpose and for a purpose. In fact, if you look on your table, you see flower pens. So here's something I want you to think about with these pens and throughout our time together today. This is another tradition my cookie grandmother actually taught me. She used to make these flower pens, and it was her way of encouraging people, brightening the day. She would give them a bouquet. She would tie it into the seasons. And one day when I went to visit her, I saw the flower pens. I went, oh, that's us. We are each our own flower in this garden of life. We all have our own fragrance, our own color, our own texture, our own scent, everything that we bring to life. And it's so easy for us to see the beauty in another flower, and sometimes maybe want to be like that flower, versus really embracing our beauty and celebrating it. So today, as we're planting seeds, as we're making choices on how to receive what is being shared with us, I want you to think about, how are you helping your flower be seen? How are you helping your flower grow? Because I want you to notice something. Hold up all the flowers in the room. Look at that. They're all different, all made with love. I promise I only make them when I'm happy and loving and putting blessings into them. I don't do it when I'm angry or frustrated. And I think about, who will receive this pen? Who is it going to be called forth? Where is it going to be planted? I think about that. So if you hold these up, look at all the diversity. Hold them up again. Look at all the color. This is us. Our color, our texture, our vibrancy that we're bringing to the garden of life. Now, drop a couple of those down. Notice what happened. We're still occupying the same space, but the garden just became a lot less vibrant. We all miss out when you shrink back. When you're willing to step forward, to shine, to share yourself, it is a huge gift to us, and it adds to our garden. It adds to our life. So I'm so excited and grateful that each of you are here, that you are sharing the gift of you with all of us. And today, as we go forth on our journey together, I want you to look at, how can you have your flower shine? How can you share just a little bit more of who you are with another? Be willing to stretch out of that comfort zone a little bit. Share a bit more of the gift of who you are. Can we do that? Because I think that is key to thriving. It is us willing to share more of who we are, more of who our gifts are, the gifts we have, because it is not a solo journey. I don't know who started that rumor, but it's just not true. We need each other. We build each other up, and each of us shining creates a vibrant garden. It does not take away from another. So be willing to share the gift of who you are. Be looking for those opportunities, because we are not getting ready, but we are ready to. Let's try that again. We're ready to. Great.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Hall Gruyter, and I'm the producer of the Empowered Connections TV channel. And I wanted to personally invite you to come on over, enjoy our amazing shows. We are all about empowering women. We're all about transforming lives. We're empowering men to really step out and be all they can be. We are looking for programming and shows to bring things to the next level. So if you are somebody that feels a show birthing within you, you have a calling to bring your show to life and touch the world, please reach out to me. I'd love to have a conversation with you. We are launching new programs and shows every week, every month, because we're going to change the world. I look forward to talking to you.